Before diving into my predictions, I'd like to remind you all of something very important. Bethesda has a history of planting clues about all of their future games within their current ones. This goes back to their roots.
Perhaps you can find the answer and close the marble jaws of oblivion, bringing peace to his soul.
Take the amulet, give it to Joffrey. He alone knows where to find my last son. Find him and close shut the jaws of oblivion.
Die!
One of the best examples of this is in the Fallout 3 quest, The Replicated Man. This quest directly set up a central conflict in Fallout 4. And there are many references to both the Railroad and the Institute, two factions featured exclusively in Fallout 4. You even have to choose between them, and you can join the Railroad in Fallout 3. With this pattern of planting clues in mind, I have reason to believe that there are some elements and hints about the Elder Scrolls 6 seated within Skyrim. The quest, In My Time of Need, it has similarities to the Fallout 3 Android quest that I just mentioned. It's an open-ended search for a specific NPC with no quest marker, and once you find the person, you must then pick a side. Hammerfell is all but confirmed for Elder Scrolls 6, but I'm personally also rolling the dice on High Rock as well. Why? Because the lore, the culture, and the geography of both of these provinces are very intertwined together. The Iliac Bay is a shared region between Hammerfell and High Rock, which is prominently featured in the game Daggerfall. ESO has already covered the land of High Rock extensively, which some people might see that as a reason to exclude it from the Elder Scrolls 6. However, I think there's already precedent set for revisiting regions regarding ESO, at least. For instance, Morrowind and Cyrodiil were both reimagined entirely for ESO. There's similar geography, yet it's still distinct experiences from their original games. Also, there was a dragon break that occurred between Elder Scrolls 2 and Elder Scrolls 3. This allows Bethesda to freely adjust the map and even the lore at however they see fit, meaning Hammerfell and High Rock will both look and feel dramatically different the next time we visit them. Still, if Hammerfell is the sole province of the Elder Scrolls 6, I'd wager High Rock will follow in the Elder Scrolls 7. I know, everybody wants to see provinces like Somerset Isle and Elsewhere and the Black Marsh, places we've never been to. These are cool places, and I'd love to see them too. But these settings are culturally distinct, and they're very alien. Unfortunately, I think this would lower their appeal as standalone games. From a business perspective, I think that's how it would be seen. These provinces would work better as expansions or featured in a mainline game, but in conjunction with another region or two. I personally would love to see Somerset coupled with Elsewhere and Valenwood. That would make a dope game. Peryite, Nocturnal, and Hermaeus-Mora all specifically stand out to me. Peryite's influence in Skyrim hints at many little connections to High Rock. In the quest, The Only Cure, the afflicted plague is revealed to have started outside of Skyrim. Kesh mentions villages in High Rock.
I sent a blessing to Mundus, a wasting plague that infected a scattering of Breton villages.
Even if Peryite isn't central to the main story, he could possibly be featured in a big major side quest, or perhaps his own Daedra quest. Maybe we'll pick up where his Skyrim quest left off.
Orchendor and his afflicted are meant to stand ready, awaiting Peryite's command to cover the world with his blessing. The afflicted are mere vessels for my blessing. It will spread to others through their touch and my own. Another overseer will replace Orchendor when the time comes. For now, all is cleansed and ordered. Go, seek your fate. I will be watching, and perhaps we will meet again afterwards.
It feels like Bethesda is saying, if you want to know more about the Afflicted, or if you want to do something about it, you have to wait until you explore High Rock. Nocturnal's role in Skyrim's Thieves Guild questline is fascinating. You're essentially forced into serving her just to complete the quest, which probably left some players with mixed feelings towards Nocturnal. Obviously, you can avoid speaking with Brynjolf entirely and avoid joining the Thieves Guild entirely if you go straight through the Rat Way, go straight to Esbern. But we all know, on our first playthroughs, that's not what happened. I'm willing to bet you came to Riften looking for Esbern. Next thing you know, you were stealing things from the market stalls. That's what happened on my first playthrough. That's what happened on my friend George's first playthrough, and I'm willing to bet that's what happened on your first playthrough. And we all eventually sold our souls to Nocturnal, just because Carlia said so, to fight Mercer Frey. I imagine that, much like myself, this caused some players to hold a bit of a grudge towards Nocturnal, and as an extension, Thieves Guild. And like I said, the main quest sort of leads you straight into joining them. And there's no way to destroy the Thieves Guild like you can with the Dark Brotherhood. So, let's say, canonically, if the last Dragonborn soul is bound to Nocturnal, this could maybe make her more powerful in some way, or it feels like they could really set her up for something interesting in the future of this series. Hermaeus-Mora's presence in the main questline and the Dragonborn DLC especially is hard to ignore. Like Nocturnal, he manipulates you into serving his interests. The Skal secrets and Mirak's death are just the surface. Unlike the Thieves Guild, we can absolutely guarantee that the events of the Dragonborn DLC and the happenings on Solstheim are indeed canon. So Hermaeus-Mora holds sway over the last Dragonborn soul, whether you chose to embrace her or not. I'm sure some players harbor a little bit of resentment because of all that, and want to rightfully, kick his ass or something in a future game. I don't see why they wouldn't take the opportunity to make him a full-blown antagonist after putting us through all that. Here are a few NPC candidates that I feel like are likely to return. A lot of people aren't going to agree or enjoy hearing this one, but hear me out. Delphine is an essential character in Skyrim, in both senses of the word. I'd like to imagine she'll be featured in a future game, maybe with some new blades on her side that she could have rebuilt on her own. Esbern's probably dead from old age. The immortal child vampire, who strangely survives both Dark Brotherhood endings. I wonder why. Maybe she'll appear as a part of the Brotherhood in a future game, or maybe she'll be their new leader, who knows. Maven Blackbriar. Maven's essential status in the game, and her connections to the Thieves Guild, the Empire, and even the Thalmor, all make her a very strong candidate for a reoccurring role in the series, in my opinion. All of Riften and all of the Thieves Guild is fully intertwined with Maven Blackbriar. Her influence ties to the Thalmor, to the Empire, and potentially to Nocturnal through the Thieves Guild, maybe. This could position her as maybe a minor antagonist, or maybe even an ally. Karliah and Brynjolf. I personally view them as the leaders of the Thieves Guild by the end of the quest. And as Nightingales, if Nocturnal's influence does grow more in the next games, maybe they will play some sort of major role in that part of the story as well. Or perhaps they'll even, if you choose to fight against Nocturnal in the main quest line, maybe Karliah and Brynjolf will be some sort of boss fight. Finally, it's worth noting that The Elder Scrolls 6 may be Todd Howard's last game in this series. Love him or hate him, his creative visions have defined the series for a very long time. So Elder Scrolls 6 could very well be a culmination of all the themes and lore that he introduced himself while in charge of Bethesda. If that's the case, I think we should expect major payoffs for long-standing mysteries in the lore and the unresolved plot points within the lore. I'm really hoping this game serves as a kind of cap to the previous 3 games' lore, which Todd was the lead for. I hope that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is the groundwork for a wonderful game is already there. The only question is, how are they bringing it all together? How will it all play out? And what is it all leading to?